If you look at DeepSeek showed up, right? Nobody expected this. It turns out it's on par now with some of the top models. Welcome. China has arrived into the competition. What would happen if China beat us? Let's think about it. The path to intelligence, that's superhuman intelligence, think of the national security implications of that competition. This is why I believe, and I'll say directly to you, that although everyone is concerned about Taiwan, I'm much more concerned about this. Because if they come to superintelligence, the strong form of intelligence first, it changes the balance of power globally in ways that we have no way of understanding, predicting, or dealing with. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
¿Y qué pasa cuando la inteligencia, y no las armas ni el dinero, se convierte en el verdadero campo de batalla? Durante una audiencia clave en el Congreso, dos figuras muy influyentes de Silicon Valley, el ex CEO de Google, Eric Schmidt, y Alexander Wang, de Scale AI, lanzaron una advertencia clara. No hablaban del futuro, sino del presente, de una carrera en la que ya estamos metidos, de un rival al que, según ellos, hemos subestimado, y de una lucha por el dominio de la inteligencia artificial que podría cambiar el equilibrio de poder a nivel mundial. No es ciencia ficción. Está ocurriendo ahora mismo. Y lo que dijeron sobre China, necesitas escucharlo.
It is crucial that America get there first. What is China doing? They're leading in something open source. They are very close behind us. You all have done a great job in doing chip restrictions and things like that to try to slow them down. They're clever and they're smart. They have industrial programs, huge grants going into these companies, and they're weaponizing up in the sense of competition. If you look at DeepSeek showed up, right? Nobody expected this. It turns out it's on par now with some of the top models. Welcome. China has arrived into the competition. What would happen if China beat us?
Eric Schmidt dejó bastante claro que DeepSeek apareció de repente y pilló a todo el mundo por sorpresa. Lo impresionante es la capacidad cognitiva que ha demostrado con unos recursos computacionales bastante limitados. Esto debería hacernos reflexionar. No podemos subestimar a China, porque están trabajando en avances realmente importantes en IA, que podrían llegar a superarnos. Y a lo largo de este vídeo vas a ver cómo una y otra vez se hace referencia al progreso que está logrando China en este campo. Una de las grandes preguntas que nos hacemos ahora mismo es: ¿y si China consigue adelantarse? Por ahora parece que van con un retraso de entre 3 y 6 meses respecto a nosotros, pero en la carrera por la IA todo puede cambiar de un momento a otro. Un avance clave podría darle la vuelta a todo el panorama, y en ese escenario China podría tomar la delantera. Eric Schmidt precisamente habla de qué podría pasar si eso llega a ocurrir.
What would happen if China beat us? Let's think about it. The path to intelligence, that's superhuman intelligence, think of the national security implications of that competition. This is why I believe, and I'll say directly to you, that although everyone is concerned about Taiwan, I'm much more concerned about this. Because if they come to superintelligence, the strong form of intelligence first, it changes the balance of power globally in ways that we have no way of understanding, predicting, or dealing with. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Como puedes ver, estamos enfrentándonos a muchas incógnitas. Nadie sabe realmente de lo que será capaz una superinteligencia, y por eso mismo da tanto miedo la idea de que un adversario logre acceder a ella antes que nosotros. ¿Qué consecuencias tendría eso? Ahora mismo es imposible saberlo con certeza. En este vídeo se abordan muchos aspectos diferentes, pero hay algo en lo que deberíamos centrarnos desde ya: la velocidad. Y por desgracia, no vamos tan rápido como nos gustaría. Uno de los temas que se trata es la sobreregulación, y se menciona cómo la Unión Europea avanza a un ritmo desesperadamente lento en comparación con el resto del mundo en cuanto a innovación. Eso dicen, es algo que deberíamos evitar a toda costa.
So what kind of things have your decisions European leaders have made that we need to avoid?
Well, the primary issue is overregulation. We have a similar problem in America in that the overlapping set of local, federal, state rules, which were done with good intentions, have the property that they're slowing things down. Our competitor, China, is not a democracy, it's an autocracy, whatever you want to call it, and they just decide.
Así que sí, esa es una de las grandes ventajas que tiene China. No necesitan pasar por todo ese entramado de regulaciones. Simplemente deciden que algo va a suceder y sucede. Evidentemente no es el modelo que querríamos para los países occidentales, pero tenemos que ser conscientes de con qué tipo de competidor estamos tratando. Y si de verdad queremos entender lo que podría pasar si China logra adelantarse, tenemos que mirar de frente esa posibilidad. Una de las cosas que menciona Eric Schmidt es que China podría lograr ventajas militares muy significativas gracias a estos avances. Y eso nos deja dejaría en una posición bastante vulnerable. Es algo que abre los ojos, porque una inteligencia artificial superinteligente podría diseñar armas que ni siquiera somos capaces de imaginar. Hay un ejemplo que me gusta mucho para ilustrar esto. No recuerdo exactamente de dónde lo saqué, pero imagina llevar un F-22 Raptor o un tanque a la época medieval. Sería una masacre total, y todo se reduciría a una sola cosa: la tecnología.
In this fight, as I said before, if they get there first, we will be very upset. All of us will be alive when this occurs. Every one of you will see it. Imagine a situation where attacks that we cannot even imagine are unleashed by China in an adversarial thing. We have no concept of having a super intelligent opponent where we're not as intelligent as they are.
Good thing. So in your article I have here on the Atlantic, or the Foreign Affairs, you wrote, essentially, technological advances in the next 5 to 10 years will determine the country gains the upper hand. I have a couple of minutes. Would you kind of explain militarily what this means? And then because you wrote about what they can do militarily, and then we need to act now.
So in the framing in China and Taiwan, which is discussed a great deal, everyone assumes that it's a battle of missiles and aircraft carriers. That's not correct. It will be a battle of swarms of drones. Those drones will be highly intelligent, highly planned, and they'll do maneuvers that no one can anticipate. We collectively are not ready for that. Imagine a situation where China has invented new algorithms for military attacks and defense that we cannot even conceive of. Remember, I'm discussing a world where humans have a partner that is smarter than the collection of those people. As I said, this will happen in our lifetimes, and it's important that we get there first. If you take a look at Ukraine, Russia right now, you see the future of war. I'm assuming, by the way, that China would start by cyber attacks and so forth. There's evidence that these new systems will be able to come up with zero-day exploits that we cannot foresee. A zero-day exploit is something we've never seen before and we can't anticipate. There's lots of people who were worried that biological attacks can be done, and there's a report from the Emerging Biothreats Commission this week with the great details, and there's a classified version that all of you should take a look at. There's plenty of evidence that these things are possible.
So, Mr. Wang, you're shaking your head. I only have about 30 seconds, but if you'd like to make a comment on that comment.
I agree with Dr. Schmidt that the potential implications of national security are incredible. As he mentioned, I think the place we're going to see this first is in cyber. I think we're going to see agentic cyber warfare, in which we will see incredibly powerful AI and large-scale data centers being utilized to hack into our systems.
Y ahora, una de las grandes preguntas es, ¿qué está planeando realmente China? No sé si algunos de vosotros habéis estado atentos a las últimas iniciativas del país, pero están tomándose la inteligencia artificial tan en serio como cualquier otro asunto estratégico. Es fundamental entender la gravedad del momento, porque no están ignorando esta tecnología, ni mucho menos. Al contrario, están yendo a toda velocidad con el desarrollo de la IA. Escuchad con atención lo que dice Alexander Wang al respecto.
Over the past decade, it's become clear that the United States faces intense global competition in determining how AI should evolve and who should lead. In 2018, the Chinese Communist Party's AI master plan started taking shape. They were already developing advanced AI capabilities and using that technology to surveil and suppress their people. Fast forward to today, their plan is more sophisticated and expansive. It includes 4 key areas of focus. First, the CCP is taking a whole-of-country approach, having recently launched their AI Plus initiative. Second, the CCP is out-investing us in data, spending billions on AI-ready data and unlocking vast public datasets to fuel AI systems. Third, they're finding ways to catch up on compute and building out their physical infrastructure. And lastly, they're developing leading AI models and exporting them to the world.
Ahora es el momento de pensar en lo que Estados Unidos podría hacer para asegurar el dominio de la inteligencia artificial y evitar que sea un gobierno totalitario el que tome el control. A continuación escucharéis a Alexander Wang y luego a Eric Schmidt. Por cierto, voy a tener la newsletter más grande sobre ella en español, y para que veas que voy en serio, voy a estar regalando esta masterclass sobre Midjourney y este curso sobre DeepSeek, o no sé, todos estos documentos y descuentos a todos los usuarios gratis de la newsletter. Lo único que tienes que hacer es registrarte con tu correo electrónico mediante el enlace en la descripción. Y tranquilo, no mandamos publicidad. Solo te mandaremos 2 reportes semanales con nuevas noticias, estudios, nuevos empleos, herramientas y mucho más. alertaia.com, solo para los que no se quieren quedar atrás.
But we are not here today to just talk about what China is doing, but to identify how the US can lead. Given how close the competition is across all foundational elements, the policies this Congress promotes could determine the outcome. Global AI dominance is not about trying to level the playing field by mimicking China's authoritarian way of government and AI adoption. Instead, the United States must chart our own course, one that is anchored in American values. This is vital to our long-term national security. This requires decisive action by the United States across 4 main themes: dominate, unleash, innovate, and promote. To dominate, we need to win on data. The US government is one of the largest producers of data in the world, but currently, most of that data is unavailable to advance American AI leadership. There are 3 immediate actions that would move us forward towards data dominance. First, establish a national AI data reserve. This resource should serve as a centralized hub for the government's AI work, housing relevant government data and allowing it to be easily shared between agencies and enabling widespread AI adoption. Second, make all government data AI ready and stand up AI data infrastructure to enable scaled implementation. And third, Congress should invest to position data dominance as a national priority. The next theme is unleash, meaning we must unleash AI technology and establish an agentic government. An agentic government is one that uses AI under human supervision to enhance its operations. For example, federal agencies could leverage AI to streamline veteran healthcare paperwork, improve fraud detection at the IRS, and boost efficiency and information sharing across agencies. This will improve the lives of public employees and the American people. Congress should require each agency to set up at least one flagship agentic government program. Next, we must maximize the ability of companies to innovate. I believe the right regulatory framework is one that allows for innovation while still creating proper guardrails. Congress should take 3 actions. First, confirm a use case-based regulatory framework and conduct an analysis to address regulatory gaps. Second, establish one single federal AI governance standard to avoid patchwork legislation at the state level. And third, implement policies that enable American workers to become the AI workforce of the future. These policies would provide the skills necessary to train, fine-tune, and evaluate AI systems. The final theme is promote, meaning we need to promote US technology globally. Countries around the world, what I call AI geopolitical swing states, will soon be forced to choose between Western or CCP-controlled technology. To help make sure they choose Western technology, Congress and the administration should empower NIST to complete all relevant measurement science for AI and export it to the world through the global network of AI safety institutes. America led the Industrial Revolution, the space race, the internet age. AI is the next frontier, and with your assistance, I'm confident we will lead again.
Y aquí es donde Eric Schmidt da sus recomendaciones sobre lo que realmente debería hacer Estados Unidos para reforzar su dominio en la IA.
The arrival of this new intelligence will profoundly change our country and the world in ways we cannot fully understand. And none of us, including myself and frankly anyone in this room, is prepared for the implications of this. What's happening at the moment in our industry is that we're very, very quickly, for example, developing AI programmers. And these AI programmers will replace traditional software programmers. We're building in the next year AI mathematicians that are as good as the top-level graduate students in math. This is happening very quickly. You can look at this in a number of the products. Today, you think of AI as ChatGPT, but what it really is a reasoning and planning system that we've never seen before. The implication of this is profound. In terms of the way the algorithms work, they're going to need a lot more computation than we've ever had. They're going to need a lot more energy, and I'll talk about that. What does the industry need? We need high skills immigration. We talk to you about this every day. Light touch regulation around cyber and bio threats. We can talk about that. And most importantly, we need the energy. And the numbers are profound. What we need from you, if I may say that directly, is we need energy in all forms. Renewable, non-renewable, whatever. It needs to be there, and it needs to be quickly. I and others are investing in things like fusion, which are incredible, but they're not going to arrive soon enough for the need. And I'll frame this at the end by my comments about China. So people are planning 10 gigawatt data centers. Now, just to do the translation, an average nuclear power plant in the United States is 1 gigawatt. How many how many nuclear power plants can we make in 1 year where we're planning this 10 gigawatt data center? Gives you a sense of how big this crisis is. Many people think that the demand of energy part that our industry takes will go from 3% to 99% of total generation. One of the estimates that I think is most likely is that data centers will require an additional 29 gigawatts of power by 2027 and 67 more gigawatts by 2030. Gives you a sense of the scale that we're talking. These things are industrial at a scale I have never seen in my life. In the terms of energy planning, the current model is mostly natural gas, peaker plants plus renewables, and that's probably going to be the path we're going to have to follow, right, to get there, and for all the reasons that you can imagine. We have a bunch of regulatory issues around fixing the energy grid. It takes, on average, 18 years to get the power transmissions and so forth to put these things in place. We need to find federal ways to preempt that and make it happen faster in order to deal with the needs.
Como mencioné antes, la sobreregulación no es algo positivo para Estados Unidos, y probablemente tendrán que cambiar rápidamente su política para no solo construir la infraestructura necesaria para apoyar estos modelos de IA, sino también para poder desarrollarlos sin una supervisión excesiva. Claro, siempre de manera segura, solo para que lo sepáis. Pero por supuesto, también necesitan hacerlo para mantener una ventaja competitiva. Y si os preguntáis cómo sería si China ganara, pues tenemos dos declaraciones, una de Alexander Wang y otra de Eric Schmidt.
Why it's absolutely essential that we win this race to a goal that's not as clear as I would like. Dr. Schmidt.
In 5 to 10 years, every American citizen will have the equivalent of an Einstein on their phone or in their pocket. This is an enormous increase in power for humans. What if that Einstein is a Chinese one?
If we fall behind the Chinese Communist Party, this technology will enable the CCP, as well as other authoritarian regimes, to utilize the technology to, over time, effectively take over the world. They'll be able to export their ideologies, they'll be able to utilize it as a military technology to invade other countries, and they'll be able to use it for effectively spreading their regime in a more broad way across the world.
Si te ha gustado este vídeo, dale like, suscríbete y déjame saber qué piensas en los comentarios. Activa la campanita para no perderte ninguno de mis vídeos y nos vemos en el próximo.